Tonight on Lowdown, we go to the UCM softball field to talk to some of the players about their Halloween fun they had.
You'll get a behind-the-scenes look at Flipside, a new student show that I help produce.
And we'll sit down and talk to some students about their interesting hobbies.
All this and more coming up next.
Hello and welcome to Lowdown, a show by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Brianna Blocker.
And I'm Ronjanae Hill. Thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to delve into all the cool things happening here at UCM.
Speaking of, the Central Missouri has a new student-produced show that's hitting the airwaves that my lovely co-host helps produce. Tyler Moody went behind the scenes to give you all the details.
We'll also take a look at a couple of students who are doing some very cool and very different things in their spare time. Let's check it out.
I sat down with the producers of the show Flipside. Here's Ronjanae Hill to talk about what her show is.
Flipside is about how genders view the same topics differently. So each week we come on and we just choose a random topic of our choosing. This week in particular we're doing dating. So I'm the host of it tonight and I'll just bring up dating and I'll ask a question. Like one of my questions tonight is like, what's so important about first impressions? And then we'll kind of just debate it for lack of a better term.
We had the same general idea. We had the idea of genders sharing their point of view on something and having, an equal number of men and women with a moderator, and the moderator would alternate, back and forth to also keep, that symmetry between numbers and gender and everything like that. So we try to cover topics that affect both men and women, because obviously or at least topics that would, affect us differently, or we'd have different points of view on them, because that's the point of the show, is getting different points of view on the same subject. So for instance, one of the episodes we did, and we're actually going to shoot today, a second part of, is dating, which is like the biggest thing that two, the opposite sex, come into contact with when they're both, doing something, and you can't get inside the other person's head, so you have no idea what they're thinking. You're like, should I hold her hand? Should I hug her now? Do I kiss her at the end of the night? What do I do? And
Jacob explained what the students do and learn from the show.
Yes, all of our crew are students. We specifically wanted that, for one, because it's easy. They're all here anyways at UCM, and two, because we want this, as much as this is our first show we've ever done. This is my first TV show I've ever done, Ronjanae's first TV show she's ever done. So we wanted it to be an educational experience because that's what it is for us. And so we wanted to be able to share that with our peers. There's all these students who are getting this new experience that they've never had before, because we decided to open it up to students, because that's kind of what we want this show to be.
So this is a gateway for them to know what they want to do specifically in the industry. So a lot of them have been transitioning through the positions and have found their specific position.
Jacob and Ronjanae also explained how the show currently runs and about its future.
Every week an episode goes out, so we shoot the episode, and then the episode that we shot the previous week has been going through post-production, which is like editing, balancing sound, all that kind of stuff. Goes through that process to where the Wednesday after we shoot our next episode, the last episode airs, and it just overlaps like that for the rest of the season until we wrap up, and then obviously there won't be any more episodes to shoot or plan or anything. So then we hop on to season 2, start working on that.
Next semester, moving forward with our show, we are looking to have more volunteers and students come in to help with the production. Right now, we have a great production crew, but it's not enough. People are doing multiple positions, and ultimately we want to have everyone doing a single position.
Flipside airs Thursdays at 7 p.m. on channel 12.9 and 989. Reporting for Lowdown, this is Tyler Moody.
Asia Garrison is a current UCM student who is living out her passion and calling by God to assist young ladies who want to grow a closer relationship with Jesus Christ. Her main goal in life is to make a difference and build up the kingdom of God. In order to fulfill this, she has started up a young women's Bible study on campus entitled The Girls' Room. At the beginning of the first Bible study, each young lady who walked in was given a rose. The roses were symbolic of the girls' growing process with God. The seed was planted at the Bible study. Now it's the girls' job to allow God to let it grow and blossom.
Well, God Bless the Queens is my blog. I created that blog February the 10th, and the mission statement of God Bless the Queens is discovering your purpose, embracing your purity, and inspiring others. So I did God Bless the Queen as initially as a website you can go to read some real dope blogs, get weekly challenges and videos. But I knew the Lord was placing on my heart like to take it to another level by doing a Bible study. I didn't want to take the whole God Bless the Queens name, God Bless the Queens Bible Study. That just sounds too long. So the Holy Spirit put on my heart the girls' room. I'm like, that's perfect. So that's kind of how I started. I wanted to meet with the girls in person.
Asia has made it very clear that for now, her focus is helping young women.
I feel like my target towards female is because I just feel like I'm a woman, so I understand what women go through, so I can personally relate to the struggles, to the downfalls, to the issues that they may face because I'm a woman. So I've probably either been through it or some of my friends have been through it, so I can further help them. When it comes to men, I love men, obviously, and I can reach men, but I just feel like men kind of relate to men better, just the same as women. My Bible studies aren't limited to just women. I will open it up to men occasionally, but just starting off, I want to build a strong foundation with the queens.
After the Bible study was over, a lot of young ladies who were in attendance gave overwhelmingly positive feedback.
It just did more than just scratch the surface. I feel like she delved really deep and just opened up everybody's hearts, especially with her prayers. And just she opened, I think, everybody, but personally my mind to really wanting to commit my life back to Christ and not just come in just because it's a Bible study.
Asia is graduating in May of 2017, but plans to continue the Bible study until then and continuing it even after post-graduation.
Events like these are, they need to be done on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to survive as a woman in college, just because there's so many temptations out here. I know I have temptations being a Christian, saying no to drinking, saying no to sex, and just lusting in general is hard. So saying no to those temptations, I definitely feel like I need accountability like Bible study to keep me grounded and to keep me faithful in my walk with Christ.
Thanks for watching. This has been Brianna Dalton reporting for Lowdown.
A lot of UCM students are involved in a lot of different activities. One of the most interesting, however, is Anna Glennon. Anna Glennon is a digital media production student who just recently won a world championship in jet skiing. Because jet skiing is what some would call an obscure sport, Glennon tells us how she got into competition jet ski racing.
Ever since I was little, we've had a lake house at the Lake of the Ozarks. When I was just a baby, my grandparents had a lake house there, and I always enjoyed riding around on the sit-down jet skis when I was a little baby. My grandpa would take me out, my dad would take me out, and they still tell me to this day that I would cry and whine and beg for a ride whenever I wasn't riding. I mean, it'd be 11 o'clock at night and I'd be dragging my life jacket around and crying and whining for a ride on the Sea-Doo. And I had always just enjoyed being at the lake, and so we got more into the stand-up jet skis when I was 12. And then when I turned 16, my dad took my sister and I to a local race just to see, what we thought of it, and he had always enjoyed racing, so he took us out to see what we thought. And we saw these little kids racing that were 12 or 13, and my sister and I just thought it was really cool to see these kids doing it. And we jokingly told my dad, we're like, oh yeah, Dad, let's do it. And then next summer, he went feet first, and we started racing on some older models.
After years of practice and months of preparation, it was time for Glennon to make the travel to the World Championships in Arizona. She tells us what her mindset was and what the moment she had been dreaming for was like.
And coming into the World Championships, I was in a really good place. I usually get really, really nervous, to the point where I feel sick, and I just never really felt nervous. I felt strong, and I felt like, it was all up to me. My team had done everything that they could. My ski was really fast. My ski was handling great. The conditions were perfect, and I think it all just came down to me, and for whatever reason, I just felt good. And because the water had gotten rougher and rougher throughout the race, and there's this big ferry that comes by that turns out these huge rollers, it had just gotten so mixed up, and the people in the first moto that had finished ahead of me actually ended up finishing way behind me, and I managed to pass the leader in the last moments of the race. And because of that, I managed to edge out the person that would have been in second. And we ended up winning, which honestly, it felt even better than if I had just led the entire race the whole time, because I kind of proved to myself that I can push through a race and get around people and make passes and things like that, which I had learned a lot from that season. And I think that, it just was finally the moment that I wanted, that I've been wanting, was to kind of show everybody, like, I can do this too.
While some would say that a world championship is about as good as you can do, Glennon tells us her next goal she wishes to accomplish in the sport.
After racing the amateur ski ladies division, I actually made the choice to move up to the expert level. So I will now be racing pro ladies, which is a very big step. A lot of those girls have been racing for much, much longer than I have. They have extremely expensive and high quality equipment. I just think that the next step for us would hopefully be to win an expert or a pro-am world championship.
What Glennon has done is impressive, and it will be very fun to see where she goes next. This has been Brock Masters, reporting for Lowdown.
Time and time again, the University of Central Missouri continues to find talented people. Hannah Byrne is just one of those faces. She has been making her impact by working with the University Relations Department, creating commercials and promotional videos.
My job is a lot of fun. I get to edit videos and promotional videos for the school and commercials. I get a real life experience of what it's going to be out in the real world, and I get to edit things that will actually be shown to prospective students. It's a really good feeling for after you finish a video that it will go up on a website and then everyone can see it. It goes on YouTube and you get to share it with your friends.
Films and videos aren't the only thing helping Hannah stand out. She's also an extremely gifted musician.
So whenever I was 10, I started to play, I got guitar lessons because my brother got guitar lessons and I got jealous. So I played guitar for about 10 years.
Hannah also managed to learn to play the bass, the banjo, the mandolin, and the ukulele. While learning to play, she also picked up a knack for songwriting and quickly began creating original songs.
Whenever I was a junior in high school, I started to put my music up on SoundCloud. And eventually I got 2,000 followers, which was really cool. So eventually I was like, I really want to put a CD together. Some I gave out for free, and then eventually it was costing a lot to make them, so I charged like $5. I really like that feeling of letting everyone hear my music, even though it's like, I was just a kid in high school. I got that opportunity.
Just last November, Hannah and 4 other students filmed her first official music video.
It was really interesting because I got to play around with like the production side, and that really played well with what I'm learning now as a college student.
I hadn't listened to the song in so long, and I was just absolutely captivated watching it, and it was just all put together so nicely, and she has such an amazing voice.
I love watching her music video and just seeing how far she's come. It's pretty amazing to see what she's done with her major and her singing and everything like that.
Hannah's friends believe she has a bright future ahead.
I would advise everyone at this university who knows her to keep an eye on her, because we'll see her name somewhere.
She has the determination, and she has the, not the bossiness, but she knows how to get stuff done. I think she'll go places with her major and everything like that, so yeah.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Rick Failer.
The Flip Side airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Channel 12.9.
It's so fun to sit down with students each week and get their perspective about things that affect their life every day. Now let's switch gears now and talk about Halloween.
UCM held several events on campus to celebrate that frightful holiday, and we made it out to a few, like the UCM Softball Annual Costume Scrimmage.
And the Monster Bash put on by Spotlight.
The UCM Jennies softball team came out to end their fall season with a costume scrimmage. Here's the assistant coach Lauren Curtis to talk about the event.
Yeah, we had a great turnout with the community, and we always want to try to get the kids out from the community. That's what makes it fun, like with all the different, like the dance-off that we did and the trick-or-treating at the end. So every year I feel like it's gotten a little bit bigger, and it's a lot of fun to get the kids out and see them in costumes and have them get to interact with our players.
Yeah, it's fun for them. It's fun for them to connect a sport like this that they may not know about to something fun like Halloween. So it's great to see them out here.
Here's Emily and Allie Jo to speak about the different costumes.
I don't really know. It's all over the media, and we just thought we could have some fun with it.
They get to pick their own. A lot of them will get in groups and do, like you saw, we had the construction worker group. We had Donald and Hillary that sparred with each other, so usually they will do groups because it's a little bit funnier that way, and then there's some different things that we can do during the scrimmage, but everybody gets to pick their own. So you did see like there was one serial killer and different things like that.
Our season begins early February, and this is our third costume scrimmage we've had. We have games usually about three times a week.
There's several tournaments that we do in the weekends throughout February and kind of into March. And then we have like double headers out here at UCM, or we go somewhere else. But every time we're out here, we have double headers. So there's 2 games, 2 chances to catch a game.
Tensions were high as the umpire threw out Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has now been thrown out of the game.
We have it every year,
yeah.
So come out. It's always fun to come out. It's very nice this year, so bring your kids.
Yep.
It's always a fun time.
Like I said, we hope that it keeps growing every year, so this is an annual thing. It's not always on the same date, but we like doing it a little bit later, closer to Halloween. Like it worked out perfect with this being the weekend before Halloween, so we hope that next year that we'll get even more community members and more kids out here and get them out in their costumes, and then hopefully they'll come out and support the Gins in the spring.
Reporting for Lowdown, this is Tyler Moody.
Spotlight recently held its Monster Bash 2.0 this past weekend, which featured pumpkin painting, a pumpkin ring toss, and some students even opted to show their scary moves out on the dance floor.
Spotlight is a student organization that puts on daytime programming, nighttime programming, and we have ideas and issues. We bring speakers, comedians for the student body. It's just a part of what they pay for when they come to UCM.
We had a Monster Bash last year, but we wanted to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better.
Here because we wanted to do something fun for Halloween and dress up.
Speaking of dressing up, students are encouraged to come in their costumes.
Students can come in their costumes. We have most creative, funniest costume, as well as cutest couple.
Okay, I'm supposed to be the Mother of Dragons, aka Khaleesi, aka Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones.
I'm supposed to be V from a movie called V for Vendetta.
Although some students chose not to participate in the costume contest, there were a multitude of events that anyone could enjoy.
So we have a dance floor available, some music going, candy at all the tables.
We have a tunnel you can run through and try not to touch all the balloons.
We've had pizza, cake, we've had apple cider.
We were over there on the dance floor, playing balloons, had some pizza, it was good.
So next time you're walking around campus, be sure to keep an eye out for Spotlight's upcoming events.
Halloween's a fun time to just dress up as whatever you want and, kind of have an experience of not your typical Friday night.
Keep coming to Spotlight events. It really helps us out and lets us know that we're doing a good job, and that it gives us feedback on what you guys want to see on campus.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ranjanae Hill. I hope you enjoyed that look back at Halloween. Now let's talk about some events that were held here recently at UCM.
Friends and Family Weekend is a very fun time for all UCM students. Every year during this time, the Association of Black Collegians has their annual block party. The block party is a show which gives the umbrella organizations a chance to creatively showcase their talent. This year's co-hosts were Dashae Leitner and Martez Barnum, who has hosted events before in the past. Before the block party begins, they always start by singing the Black National Anthem.
Of liberty, let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening skies.
I've had previous experience hosting things. I hosted the block party the year before, also hosted MPHC annual step show, and basically to tie it into this year, it was a big help because, I got a feel for the audience and who's going to be there, my peers. So I was more comfortable. I was more worried about my co-host because even though she was my sister and I was going to make her feel comfortable, I just wanted her to be able to feel out the crowd better. But overall, I said it was a success. We did a good job.
The crowd was super energetic and very full of life. They responded so well to the performances and to Martez and Dashae as the hosts.
The Black National Anthem, I feel like it's important to be sang, but one, because a lot of people of this generation really do not know the Black National Anthem. They don't know the history of it. They don't know the meaning of it. So for it to be sang every year before we actually start performing, it actually gives people the chance to hear, you know, lift every voice and sing. Let them know that we're here. We're not here to be violent. You know, we just want everybody to be treated equal. We want to be treated on the same level as everyone else. So as we sing that before we start the event, it kind of gives everybody in the audience a time to get a peace and sound mind and be ready to actually have fun without no violence or anything like that.
The old school versus new school music playlist was definitely a hit with the older family and friends. As soon as an early 2000s song by R&B artist R. Kelly came on, they instantly began to dance. In addition to the crowd loving the show, and not to mention the host, the performances were definitely a sight to see. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated set the bar so high by opening the show, driving into the Mule Mall in a Jeep Wrangler.
I feel like with ABC doing the Black Party annually, it's a big thing for the simple fact, like, a lot of times the Black community get looked over because we don't really voice everything. And as the media portrays us, they see us a lot of violence that goes on, especially with the police brutality and everything like that. So with the Block Party, they actually give parents the time to come down to the university, see what we're all about, and let everybody else know on the campus, such as the president, administration, and staff, that we're more than what they portray in the media.
Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thanks for watching. This is Brianna Dalton from Lowdown. Every year, the National Panhellenic Hall Council, or better known as NPHC, and the Association of Black Collegians work together to host several events during the week of homecoming for the African American community on campus. These events include the annual coronation ball, stroll-off, step show, and the barbecue. This weekend is designed to cultivate relationships between the Greeks and non-Greeks of the campus community. The 2016 year just so happened to fall on Black Alumni Weekend as well.
Black Alumni Weekend is a weekend during homecoming. It occurs every other year, so every 2 years. It's where Black Greeks or African American Greeks and Black alumni who has graduated from the University of Central Missouri, or CMSU, comes down to celebrate events that occur during homecoming weekend. The tailgate was my favorite part because it was a way for people to come together. I know I participated in the parade as well, so I won Miss Senior, so that was also a great way for Black alumni to come together. And then also after that, we went to the parking lot where we tailgated, and also was able to see people that are in our respective organizations as well.
NPHC is the National Panhellenic Council. It consists of 9 predominantly Black Greek-lettered organizations.
NPHC was created in 1930, and as Marquise said, is composed of the Divine Nine, which has 4 sororities and 5 fraternities. The art of stepping and strolling is something that is incorporated nationwide within all NPHC members. There is a similarity between the two, but there are a few obvious differences.
Strolling is basically an expression that Black Greek-lettered organizations use in order to show off unity, brotherhood, and sisterhood.
Events like these are meant to bring the African American community on the campus closer, while simultaneously having fun. Freshmen, sophomores, and transfer students are the ones who really benefit from coming out to these events because they get to mingle with the older students.
The Black community should have more events like the stroll off and the step show because freshmen and sophomores usually stay to themselves during the first 2 years of school because they're not acclimated to the system yet. And in order to get acclimated, they might need a mentor or someone who can guide them in the right direction and help them get through school, because we all know school is pretty tough depending on what your major is.
Thanks for watching. This is Brianna Dalton reporting for Lowdown.
Hey there, kids. Look what we have here. It's our favorite knucklehead Tom. He's having difficulty waking up, and this could result in Tom being late to his class. If Tom keeps this up, it could have massive impacts upon his GPA. But Tom could have avoided all of this by using one simple trick. I said Tom could have avoided all of this. All Tom had to do was keep a bottle of water near his bedside and drink it in the morning. This will hydrate his body, jump-starting his day and helping to keep him awake. Tune in next time to see what Tom will do wrong next.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. But don't fear, the show in its entirety and each individual segment can be found on our KMOS TV YouTube page.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Ron Janae Hill.
And I'm Brianna Blocker.
Good night. Contact.
And if I can't see, I don't hear it. So it's like, if I don't see you, I
see
can't
that spider
hear
web
you.
that just flew?
Yep. It was on my face.
Yeah, that was on my face too. Now it makes sense.
It was on my face too.
It was about things that affect their lives on others.
I like how you just kept leveling. He was like, I'm not giving up.
Dang it.
You're going to get it out, okay?
Humana. And time, no. First of all, I smiled when he said 1. So I was like, hopefully you didn't see that. Second of all, that whole time my mouth was switching like, like not knowing how to smile.
Oh my goodness.